So what if you turned on the TV one morning and the news anchor said,
breaking news. Overnight, archaeologists in Jerusalem found a tomb. They believe it to be the tomb of Jesus, and in it they discovered bones. They claim that these are not just any bones, but those of Jesus Christ. More details in a live update at 11.
if you heard that, that might take a few days or months to think about. Paul says to the church in 1 Corinthians 15:14, and if Christ has not been raised, our preaching is useless, and so is your faith. It's worth nothing because the resurrection proves Jesus defeated our greatest enemy, sin and death, once and for all. The resurrection is the undeniable proof that Jesus' death on the cross actually accomplished something. Not only that, but it validates all that Jesus said about himself as the Messiah, one who would suffer, die, and rise again. You can read that in Matthew 16:20-21.
Then he ordered his disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah. From that time on, Jesus began to explain to his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer many things at the hands of the elders, the chief priests, and the teachers of the law, and that he must be killed and on the third day be raised to life.
In his undoing of death, Christ proves that he, not sin, not death, is the true victor and has the power over sin and death. So without the resurrection, Jesus could have been thought of as simply just a great teacher and a good guy. But after he rose from the dead, his followers knew for certain that he was who he had claimed to be. He is the resurrection and the life, the Savior of the world. Jesus' crucifixion was the death blow for a world system founded on human power and wisdom. His resurrection marks yet another way that God does things upside down from human thought. The first shall be last. To be great, you must serve. To live, you gotta die. Human power is the most important thing. Does Jesus' death and resurrection make you live upside down? Or do you still want all the power and prestige you can get? There are 12, or at least 12, different appearances of Christ after he rose from the dead, found in the Bible. They were physical, tangible experiences with Christ eating, speaking, and even allowing himself to be touched. Jesus' resurrected body was different from his physical body. It was no longer subject to the same laws of nature. He could walk through locked doors, and yet he could still be touched, and he could eat. This makes me think, that stone in front of the tomb, it wasn't rolled away from the tomb so Jesus could get out. The stone was rolled away so that everyone could see that he had risen from the dead. Now, if Christ's bones were still in the tomb, it would mean God's wrath was not satisfied, and we would all stand guilty before God. Wow. It's good news that Jesus rose from the dead, and that isn't the case. That he took the punishment for our sin. So thinking about the resurrection, it doesn't end with an argument or confusion, but with hope, with good news. When all other alternatives are exhausted and there are no objections left, there is just simply this truth. Jesus defeated sin. Jesus conquered death. And all who would turn from sin and trust in him, Jesus offers resurrection and life for them. So You should think about the resurrection in the days to come.